Okay, so here's a rundown on the dually systems for any level lift, and then we'll compare a couple of those components to the single. We'll use this truck here just so that you can see the difference. So this is a 17 350 dually. So truck sitting is down, it's sitting at about a level kit right now, so pretty darn close to stock. And then with the app, which we do this through Switch Pro, you can raise the truck up and down. The momentary switches that are inside the cab that you can do from the driver's seat are also available Bluetooth, and you link up to this. We link these to the VIN. So now that's a full up. So now you're at 13. So the way that we have this wheel and tire package set up on this specific truck is we have a 26 dually wheel with a 37, and then a 37 1350s on the back. And then in the front, we're running a 26 by 14 with a 37 1450. And right now I have spacers on it just to kind of give a little bit of a different look. But so this isn't super practical for towing at a lower height, but with those spacers off or with a standard dually front, we can tow at basically a level kit, hook up to a gooseneck and not have any issue. So the front on the dually is the same as what it would be on a single. So the modifications are going to be on the back side. So the addition to the dually is going to be this cantilevered subframe for the airbags. So 2 bars coming back off this factory mount. Has this cantilevered bracket here that attaches to the lever arm, and then it has this the bracket that goes side to side for the airbags. So as this goes up and down through the range of motion, the airbag follows the coilover. It's not a direct frame to axle like most airbag setups would be. So if you have 30 psi in this bag and you're all the way down, you have 30 psi in this bag. If you go to 8 inches, there's 30 psi in this bag. If you go to 13 inches, there's 30 psi in this bag. So the load leveling capability directly follows the coilover on this cantilevered subframe. So, and on your spring, there's dual rate with a slider. Probably see it better from the front. So we have a heavier rate spring on the bottom, a lighter spring on the top, and as this compresses, this plastic slider will move up and it will connect with wherever these stops are set on this threaded section of the coilover. So that's just the coil spring setup. That setup alone has load leveling or load capacity of stock single rear wheel 350 on or about. So then that's where it comes in with the subframe, or with the airbags, is if you are putting more weight on the back here and something with a lot of tongue weight, you can level this out so you maintain the appropriate amount of travel in your coilover with the air that's in this bag. Now, if you're running empty, you just pop the air out of the bag, and it can either be done on an auto system, or it could be done on a manual fill system, or it could be done on a remote fill system, which I think is probably that's the most popular one that we've been doing, where you control your air in the bag, pressure and release through a remote. So just for a point of comparison, we'll go over to a single. So this is your standard 350 rear end. And you can see it does not have that airbag subframe in, and the coilovers are mounted behind the axle. So the configuration of this is a little bit different. This particular truck's more of a toy, so we're running a single rate on the back rather than a dual. But typically these will have the dual rate where you got the heavier spring on the bottom, that poly slider, and the lighter spring on the top. So going back to this, that's where your load leveling capability is going to come into play, is this airbag setup being here to follow your coilover. Now moving up to the top of this, there's also the ability to lock this out. So there's poly spacers, which I'll just grab one from up here. That slide over this, and there's a stop fabricated into this lever arm. So you'll slide your first one down and you'll be able to stack these up. So if you put, I think it's 7 or 8 to lock this out at full height, or say if you're you know, you're gonna tow at 4 inches of lift, you might only need 3 of these spacers. But when you put the spacer in, lower the lift down, the cylinder moves in and locks these in, and then that takes the hydraulics completely out of the system. So if you're towing, you're on a fixed system. You wouldn't have any anything with the hydraulic system involved. And then to take these out, you just raise the lift back up and pop these out.